Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of City Skylines. I gotta be honest, it feels so good to be back. Obviously I've been gone for a while, but it's me you're talking about. I'm not surprised with myself. I've really wanted to play this and I finally recorded an episode like you see right now. In summary, what happened is that we started the space unit at school and we had to create our own spaceship, basically. And I committed myself to creating a 3D model of it. Absolutely no 3D modeling skills at hand. I learned how to 3D model, I 3D modeled it, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that's where I was. And actually, using those 3D modeling skills that I learned, I'm trying to create a LRT, light rail transit vehicle, that we're going to be using in the city, but I'll come to that when the time comes. So, here we are, the detailing episode. I looked at the footage of the other episodes, and I felt like I was rushing, but at the same time I was getting nowhere. I really don't know how to explain it other than that. So, instead of recording all that footage, whenever I had a spare moment, I took the time and I did some off-camera work. And I did a lot of off-camera work, so much office placing and deleting, and I placed down a few metro stations, the university. I changed up the skyline a little bit. Not anything too important, but it's definitely changed. I discovered actually there's a ratio setting, aspect ratio setting in the settings, and I didn't know that. So I had another maybe 2 hours of footage recorded prior to what you're seeing right now, and I ended up not using it because I changed the aspect ratio to 16:9 instead of 16:10, because that's what my monitor is. It's an old monitor. All my stuff is fairly old, but I'll talk about that in a bit. And I'm really hoping that the quality, I guess, of this episode will be better. The frame rate hasn't been the best. I'm not sure why. Last episode it was alright, but now it's worse. So, what am I doing? So basically what you saw me before this, I was just placing down foliage, and a lot of foliage. Let's just say there's going to be a lot of foliage in this episode. I did a lot of parking lots. I detailed them, and basically just a lot of foliage. That's what I did. But right now, what I really wanted to do is get onto the material handling / waste management facility. I put down so many buildings, but I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. So I don't remember who created these buildings. It's in my collection, in the asset collection. You can find the link to the collection in the description. Everything's there, including all these buildings. And let me just say they're great. I really like them. And especially combined with Move It, you can just put them anywhere and it'll work amazing. It's great. And then these new roads came out. I think it's part of network extensions, but they're so awesome. They look great. The garbage coverage area now is for the whole city, and that's really good. Probably because they turned up the budget, but nonetheless, I think the garbage management / system in this game is somewhat unbalanced. So I'm just gonna say right now, if you are having trouble with garbage in your city, just turn up the budget all the way, and it will increase your coverage area, because it's fairly unbalanced. In just a couple of days, you'll have it's trust me. I found these great assets by I think it was by Avania. I think these buildings might be by Avania too. She's an amazing asset creator. She just released some container assets and trucks, and I'm gonna be using them here. So yeah. I don't remember if I recorded this, but I redid the solar power plant, and since I moved all the electricity underground, I placed down some warehouses and I put down trucks, but I don't have any of that footage. I can't find it. Either it, for some reason, stirred itself in a different location, or I simply didn't record it because I remember recording it. And yeah, I got prop snapping, so you can now move props up and down, and it's really nice. I'm glad I got it. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, I'm taking a whole bunch of props that relate to this. I think they actually come with this collection. And what I figured happens, I'm not basing it off of any real life thing. In fact, this city is supposed to be in the future, so I don't look too much into the realism of things, and I kind of just go with how I think they should be. Yeah, so the idea of this whole lot kind of area is that they have all the containers there, as well as the trucks. That's where some of the garbage trucks park. And, if there's ever a container needed, they can just put it on the truck from the lot, and that's it. They go away. I don't think I've ever done this much detailing. I put down a fence around the lot because I thought that should be the most protected area in the whole facility, since it probably has the most valuable things. Yeah. I found these security barriers. I thought I had a different version, but I also can't find them. If you can find those security barriers, like other assets for security barriers, please let me know. And yeah, moving on to what was this? The metal was it ferrous metal? I don't remember. It's like a metal handling facility, and I found these iron ore piles, as well as is that how you pronounce it? Bauxite piles, and I put them down because they kind of look like scrap metal. And then the decals, I used a lot of decals, but I think it really does make everything look really nice. It does help, I guess. And more foliage. I think I might have gone a bit overboard with the foliage, but the idea is that since this is in the future, like, I don't know, mid to late 2020s, there was since this is like supposed to be in Canada, basically the government issued this green space law, and because it will help reduce global warming and pollution and everything, and it produces more oxygen, which is really nice. So they're trying to fill up every available space they can with plants, because why not? If you're not going to be using that space, might as well put something useful there. More fencing, a lot of fencing, and yeah, I'm still thinking about that off-camera footage. I really did have a lot of it. Not off-camera footage. Sorry, what I'm talking about. Doesn't make sense. The footage that I can't find. Like, for example, I did a lot of detailing. There were like these offices in the downtown area, and I put a lot of detail into that, but I'm not using that footage. So that's unfortunate. And now I'm gonna try to do the railyard. I spent quite a while on this. I went through a few iterations, but I ended up with something I think looks pretty nice. It basically kind of goes around, not around, but around the perimeter of the facility, and it's not really supposed to be related to the facility. Like, the facility is not using it, to be honest. And I've seen quite a few things like this in real life. Where I live, not too far, right behind the Cineplex, the movie theater, and right next to Leon's, there's this, like, I guess rail sorting yard. They basically they stop the CN trains there, and then they classify. It's not like a hump yard, no. It's, I think it's like a classification yard. That's what it is, probably. And it has nothing to do with the theater or with Leon's. It's just there because this space is available. And since this is kind of the industrial part, and it's going to extend into the industrial part of the city, I thought that having a little rail yard here makes sense. And I think it goes really well, and it adds something to the facility other than just buildings. I'm really happy with how the whole facility turned out. I did spend a lot of time. It might not look like it because I think this is probably the shortest episode we have yet, but I put way more time into this than I have into any other episode because I wasn't happy with how I was dealing with the other episodes. I didn't cut any footage. All I did was I piled it into Premiere Pro, and then I sped it up, added some music, and that's it. But I spent more time here. I cut footage out. I left what I thought was important. I didn't pile everything. I really did try to make it better, in a sense. I looked for more settings, and speaking of which, I wanted to talk about my computer and everything. I don't want to stop the series. It's just barely started. But from the response I'm getting so far, it seems that you guys really like it, and that really does make me happy, but I want to make the quality better. And what I was thinking of is, I don't know if this technology already exists or if I'm just doing something wrong. If I record something in 30 frames per second and I speed it up by 2000%, why is it not now? Why isn't the frame rate increased? Because, theoretically, that should probably increase the frame rate as well. It should give a smoother video. But it's the same choppiness. So maybe I just don't understand something. But please do explain in the comments if you know what I'm talking about, because I'd really like to know on that whole aspect of video making. And again, more foliage. Here we go. My frame rate significantly drops here, even with my computer that barely has any frame rate to begin with. It goes way lower than it already is, and that sucks. But it does look nice, the whole green space idea. These shady bushes, I think they look great. You may have or may not have noticed, it's a small detail, but there was pine trees there where I put down all those shady bushes, and I didn't delete them because since this city is built in the mountains, the city is trying to leave whatever, well, what would I call it? Whatever life they can, I guess. Whatever was there should stay there, basically. That's the idea. in the city. And yeah, now onto the live portion. So here's the railyard and the whole material management facility. I think it looks really nice. You can take a look at all the foliage. I used the different colors of the shady trees and the oak trees. And then you have the different types of rail cars there. I think it looks really nice. Again, more foliage. Tall grass. The Goulas tall grass is really nice. I think I've said that before, but I do think so. Then we have the little supply lot and everything. I think it looks pretty cool. We have all the different buildings here that manage different materials. Then the road that leads to the intersection. I did not detail the intersection. I thought I might want to leave that to some other time, but yeah. And then we have the little, that small lot over there. Never mind, we're going away from it. And here's the offices. It took a really long time just to detail this small portion. This little office district, it took such a long time to detail, but it was worth it. I'm probably going to do some more off-camera work just to finish up the rest of the offices, because it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Yeah, there was a lot of foliage. It takes up a very good amount of space. So, and now we have the nighttime footage. Of course, we will probably need to put down more lights, but at the moment, I think it looks really nice. The whole nightscape. The offices have a really nice, they have really nice night lights, and I think it just looks nice. You can see the lights over there where we added to the parking lots. I really like the little yellow tint, I guess, to them. Here's one of the offices and what they look like at night. This is the little lot. We're gonna have to add lights to it some other time. That lot, I don't think I explained it, but basically it's just a bunch of office supplies. There's some pallets. What else is there? Yeah, just a whole bunch of pallets, to be honest. And yeah. And then there's the material handling facility. I didn't add lights to it. I ran out of time. But I will get to that, don't worry. And we're now approaching the end of this episode. I apologize for me rambling so much, but I finally got to doing this. So if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified about the next episode of Edbrooke. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and bye.